there race fans, and welcome to race number 12 of the GTCC 602 Championship. We're out here in France today on the LeMans circuit, running the layout of the 24 hours of LeMans. 30 minutes out here in the 601 to 602 performance points registered cars, so I think it's going to be a good race out here today. Looking at that weather, we seem to be in for a pleasant day. Hopefully that doesn't change and we can have a great race day out here in the sun in France. Looking at the leaderboard though, I am still in position number 1 with 199 points. The Toyota Celica really doing me well out there. That is a fantastic little car and it's been really handling extremely well under all the conditions that's been thrown at it so far. In position number 2 is Mikey Doble in the Maserati GTS. He's had a little bit of a tough time out there the last couple of races, but still holds second place with 169 points. Aaron Tyler Smith in the Subaru Impreza WRX creeping up on him in third position with 159. Tom Ingram in fourth in the Porsche 911 GT3 with 150 points, and 1 point behind him is Ashley Sutton in that little Toyota MR2 with 149 points. So it's pretty tight up at the top with the top 5. Well, maybe the Toyota Celica running away with it a little bit, but let's get on to the race lineup for today, and we'll see where the guys qualified for the races after last week's event in Japan. Right, so here we are for the starting positions for today's race. The grid lineup obviously set by the finishing order of the drivers in our last race last week, which was in Japan. As you can see, me and Aaron Tyler Smith are on the front row of the grid. I'm in the Toyota Celica in position number 1, Aaron Tyler Smith in the Subaru Impreza Coupe. Behind us are Tom Ingram in third in the Porsche 911, and in fourth Nick Helsted in the Aston Martin V8 Vantage. In fifth we have Ashley Sutton in the MR2. Sixth place held by Colin Turkington in the Nissan Fairlady Z. Chris Smiley in the BMW M2 holds position number 7, with Andrew Watson in the Porsche Cayman GT4 starting off in position number 8. Starting from 9th is Jake Hill in the Honda S2000, with Mikey Doble in position number 10 in the Maserati Gran Turismo S. Position 11 held by Adam Morgan in the Jaguar F-Type. In 12th, Sam Osborne in the Mercedes AMG. 13th held by Tom Chilton in the R33 Skyline, and Dan Camish right up there with him with the Nissan GTR Premium. In 15th position, Rob Huff with the Toyota GR Supra. Josh Cook in 16th with the Honda Civic Type R. Then we have Daryl DeLeon in the Ford Mustang GT in position 17th, and in 18th, Aidan Moffat in the Alfa Romeo Giulia. Position number 19 held by Daniel Rowbottom in the Volvo V40 T5, and in last position again is Dan Zelos in the Audi TT Coupe. Right, that's about it guys, so let's move out to the track and get this race going.
Green flag confirmed. Let's go racing.
Right, so here we are just about to get the race started. We are on the starting grid and waiting to get going. Here goes the counter and the race is on. We move over to the left hand side of the track. We want to get that apex in the turn and try to get that done as quick as possible through those turns, but we are definitely not the quickest off the line. Aaron Tyler Smith, Nick Helsted and Colin Turkington all getting ahead of us in the first straight of the race. Mikey Doble moving up a couple of positions into position number 6. He's now behind Colin Turkington in position number 5 as he overtakes Ingram's Porsche. He also didn't seem to get the greatest of starts. We're in position number 3. Turkington has dropped back behind us after we overtake him. We're now into position number 3, chasing Helsted and Aaron Tyler Smith. Hopefully the little Toyota Celica has got what it takes to win here. Long straights in this race. A couple of chicanes as well, and some high-speed turns. So this track might actually favour the higher-powered cars, who should be able to out-accelerate the lower-powered cars on the long straights. Everybody is limited to 250 kilometers per hour, so we are basically almost hitting that rev limiter in 5th gear. And we run a little bit wide into the first chicane. We do keep control of the car though. Aaron Tyler Smith drops back into 2nd. Halstead's Aston Martin up in the front, leading the race right now. And there he is, Aaron Tyler Smith in 2nd position in that Subaru, as we get eaten up by Mikey Doble on the long straight in that V8 Maserati. As I said, the more powerful cars seeming to have a lot more of an advantage here, being able to power up and get into the top end of the cars a lot easier and a lot quicker than those who might not be as powerful. But this is where we are very, very strong with the Celica through the turns. So we come out of that one pretty clean. Turkington though still hunting us down in the Z33 Nismo, as we watch Mikey Doble overtaking Aaron Tyler Smith, running right next to him, but he has got the pass done, and now it's the two big V8s up front. Nick Halstead in position number 1 in the Aston Martin, and Mikey Doble in 2nd in the Maserati, as we try to avoid the back end of the Z33 getting too hard on the brakes while we got the steering turned, and we've got the car all spun around. We got a penalty for it as well, for hitting the barrier, so we had to move over off the racing line and wait for that penalty to tick away. Now we've lost many places, all the way down to 12th position now, chasing Daryl DeLeon's Mustang, or trying to get alongside him, which we have done. We have passed him, and now we've got Andrew Watson ahead of us in the FedEx livery GT4 Cayman. Let's look ahead, see who's ahead of us. Wow, the GTR really having a good hard look, and it's trying to get ahead of the MR2, and he does seem to get it right. That's is Ashley Sutton in the MR2, just been overtaken by the Advan GTR. We slide the car around the corner, getting that back end powered out, and we are chasing Andrew Watson still in that Porsche Cayman. He's closing the gap on Ashley Sutton's MR2 as we try to get the outside. It looks like we got the pass done. Yes, we are in position number 10 behind Ashley Sutton. That little MR2 might not be the quickest, but it does do extremely well in the turns, and obviously it is very, very light on fuel and tyres. Ordinarily that car needs to go into the pits one stop fewer per race than everybody else, which does give him an immense advantage in the timing of the race. So, whoa, we got that one really wrong. Decided to, I'm not sure what happened there, but got the calculation really wrong of where we needed to brake for that turn. As we see Halstead and Doble going into the pits, we're going to go in as well. Sutton behind us in the MR2, and whoa, he forces his way through. Whoa, Sutton bullying his way past us in pit entry, and he gets ahead of us into the pits. Everybody else going for hard tyres though. You can see the fuel levels of the cars. 61% for Tyler Smith, 55 for Ingram, and we seem to have used the least amount of fuel out of everybody that we can see on that list. 69% of our fuel still remaining in the car. So even Sutton wasn't as light on fuel as we were through there, but did decide to use a lower fuel map. I think we were using fuel map number 3 for this, so we could prolong our stints out on track, and that obviously means our final pit stop we have got the least amount of fuel to put in, and that should give us a time advantage. But we're fighting with Daryl DeLeon's Mustang through the S's. He He keeps it ahead for a few seconds, but we do get the power down and get the car ahead of the Mustang. Andrew Watson ahead of us in the Porsche. Oh, bit of contact between us and the Porsche Cayman, but we get ahead of him. No penalties for that, so obviously there is a little bit of bump and grind expected in these GTCC races, but the marshals are pretty strict with the penalty system, so if they don't feel that we were excessively aggressive, we don't get the penalty. But we are in 9th position though. We have made up 3 from 12th, and we are chasing Dan Camish in the GTR. Dan Camish behind Sam Osborne in the AMG Mercedes, and Osborne is attacking Tom Ingram in the Porsche 911 GT3. As we take a look on the outside of Camish, looks like we have got the pass done. Yes, we move into 8th position, overtaking the V8 AMG. I apologize, the GTR, Nissan GTR of Dan Camish. We are now chasing Tom Ingram in the Porsche and Sam Osborne in the AMG. Dan Camish though taking another look at getting back past us, running 3 wide behind that AMG Mercedes of Sam Osborne. Everybody hard on the brakes coming into the left-hander, and the Jaguar and the Subaru fighting ahead of us. We get ahead of the Porsche, we get ahead of Camish again, and now we are trying to get a pass done on Sam Osborne in the AMG, and we do get it right. Running side by side, just our nose ahead of him at the moment, as we just slot in front of him. He's going to get the advantage of the slipstream on us, and we watch Adam Morgan taking a look down the inside of Aaron Tyler Smith's Subaru. The Jaguar extremely quick. We're running a little bit wide on these turns, but keep it clean. Don't run off the track. And Morgan doesn't seem to get that pass right on the little Subaru, but we are trying to close the gap on the Jaguar. Turkington doing very, very well in the Z33. You can see him just exiting the screen there. Aaron Tyler Smith behind him, then Morgan, then us, and then we've got Osborne behind us with Camish chewing on his back bumper. You can see Morgan taking another look down the... Oh my word! And we've got the car into a power slide around the corner and can't control it. It runs straight into the barrier, and we've got another penalty, more damage to the front end of the car. Penalty ticked away, and we are back in the race, but we have dropped those positions again, all the way back down to position number 9. It's been a tough race so far. A couple of excursions, or a couple of accidents for us. Not necessarily our fault. The first one, we did get into a slide trying to avoid the back end of the Z33. This time, definitely a driver error, getting on the power a little bit too much while chasing the cars with the wheel turned, but the back end slid out and the car out of control into the barrier. Now we are in 9th, chasing Ingram in the Porsche. He also hasn't had the best of races, started in 3rd position, now all the way back down to 8th. We started in 1st and we're in 9th, so not a great start for either one of us, me or Tom Ingram. Ashley Sutton in 10th, ahead of or behind me as we get around Tom Ingram. Camish ahead of us now again, and we've got to get ahead of that Advan Nissan GTR. He passes Osborne again. A big battle going with Dan Camish and Sam Osborne. The AMG Mercedes and the Nissan GTR. We get a great exit out of those turns onto the start-finish straight, and we are 3 wide again with Osborne and Camish, but we do get ahead of both of them as we now try to close in on Adam Morgan's Jaguar, who is in 5th position. The Jaguar is still trying to find a way past Aaron Tyler Smith in the Subaru WRX as we look down the inside of Morgan and we get the pass done. And now we are on the attack. Adam Morgan fights back. Doesn't get the pass done on us. We get the inside on Aaron Tyler Smith. We move into 4th position. Aaron Tyler Smith in 5th behind us now. Chasing Colin Turkington now in his Nissan Nismo Z33. That car proving to be pretty quick on these long straights, but we got a nice amount of momentum out of that turn. There you can see Nick Halstead in 2nd position now. He's been overtaken by the Maserati. Mikey Doble now leading the race again in the big V8 Maserati, the V8 Aston Martin behind him in position number 2. We were in 3rd in the Celica GT4 with the Castrol livery as we come to the first of the chicanes. Nicely on the apex this time. And we power out onto the 2nd of the long straights. It'll be difficult to make up any ground on Mikey Doble and Nick Halstead in those V8s on these straights, but where we come up to the bends, that's when we are able to make up our time. But hopefully we can do that and we don't have any more incidents, because we have had a couple of mistakes, all of them have been involving turns and not getting the apex and the braking right. We do run this one a little wide as well, but we do keep the car under control. We do look like we are closing a gap on Halstead's Aston Martin. Quite a big gap between us and Turkington now. Camish having a look at passing Turkington too, and you just see Doble disappearing out of the bottom of the screen with Halstead chasing him down. We're trying to close the gap on him, and behind us is Colin Turkington and Dan Camish in the 2 Nissans fighting it out for 4th and 5th positions. Mikey Doble quite far ahead in the distance, but we are seeming to close that gap in the turny sections of the track, so we are definitely not out of this. We can fight our way back. We just need to be clean and surgical in those turns. And there we go, having a look at Halstead. When we do get the pass done on the Aston Martin, we're into 2nd position now, chasing Mikey Doble, who is miles and miles and miles ahead, but proving that the little Celica definitely has got the potential to win this race, no matter how tough it has been to start with. There we go, there we see Doble in the black and blue Maserati. That car absolutely a force to be reckoned with out here, as is Halstead by the look of it. That Aston Martin really doing well. He hasn't had the best of starts to this season actually. He had a couple of really horrendous races where he almost went down to well, he almost finished in last place in 2 of them, and but he's fought his way back up and he started in 4th in this race, so definitely doing a lot better lately. And oh, we get the car into a big slide, not braking enough, trying to chase that car too hard, coming into the corner too hot and just not able to hold the speed through the turn, so going off the track. And we let Halstead get back onto the rear bumper of the Celica. Mikey Doble gets away again as we get the car slid out again into a power slide around that turn, just pushing it maybe a little bit too hard here. We're going to need to be careful. No, we can't throw caution to the wind. But here we go, into the pits for the 2nd stop. Doble in 1st, we're in 2nd. We have got damages, so I think we might drop a few more positions. We may not come out in 2nd position here, depending. But look at the fuel use. Mikey Doble only with 5% left. That car is really munching through fuel. We've got 31% left, so we are doing a lot better. Turkington, well, he's also really heavy on fuel. 3% of his fuel left in that car. Halstead in the Aston Martin with 0, coming into the pits with an empty tank, so he's run out of fuel on lap number 3. So this is going to be quite an interesting one for that Aston. He was doing extremely well, but he is really drinking the fuel. But here we go, into the pits. The crew not opting to switch tyres. We just popped 100% fuel back in. We filled up to 100%, and we do come out in seconds. We do come out in second position, although Mikey Doble has absolutely, without a doubt, got a quicker pit stop than we had. There's quite a gap between us at the moment. As you see, Aaron Tyler Smith, Nick Halstead, Tom Ingram, Ashley Sutton, Chris Smiley, all in the pits. So everybody has pitted on the same lap again. But we have the advantage here. We just have to be careful in those high-speed turns. We got to make sure we are racing the track and not racing the driver. But we've made immense ground up on Mikey Doble, and we get the pass done into the first of the long straights. We're going to stick this car on the right hand side of the track, try to keep him out of our slipstream. That car is definitely quicker than us in a straight line, so we're going to try to give him as little of an advantage as possible, trying to stay out of his race line. We're watching the rear view mirror, trying to make sure that we are not allowing him to get in behind us. He does try. We move over to the left because we've got the right hander coming up for the first chicane. We do hold it, sliding the car slightly, maybe a little bit too hot through there, but we onto the second straight. Doble right behind us, and he's moving over into the next lane across. He thinks he can overtake us and get the position with the power of the car on the straight, but it's going to be a close one, side by side with the Maserati. Mikey Doble does move into first position. He's half a car length in front. It's a battle. It's going to be a battle to win this race. Doble is definitely not holding back whatsoever, and he's doing extremely well through the chicane as well. Doing well to hold us off because we are definitely quicker through those twisty sections. We have got a little bit of momentum, so we are able to stay with him, get in his slipstream and stay with that Maserati as we approach the next sharp right-hander. Having a look down the outside, we actually got a bit of a run on the Maserati here. Decide to back off, play it safe, and not spin the car out. We can fight this. We got to just keep the long game in mind. Tires, though, we didn't change them. That's probably why we were able to stick with the Maserati. Had we put extra tires on with fixing those damages, we might have dropped a few more places. So a bit of a strategic move by the pit crew, not putting on another set of tires to try to keep us in the runnings, but the tires have got a decent amount of life in them still, so we should be able to hold this out until we get to the next stop. But we are now into the turns, and this is where it is going to get really interesting. We get past Mikey Doble, drops back into second position, the Toyota Celica in position number 1. Can we keep him there, though? There are some long straights coming up where he will have the advantage, and if he gets into our slipstream, he can absolutely get that position back, and it looks like he's going to try to go for it. He's right next to us again, coming up to the next turn, and a bit of a tap onto our car there. Mikey Doble looking like he's getting a little aggressive, getting the elbows out, muscling his way through. Definitely did not need to make contact with us on the straight, but he did. So I'm a bit concerned about Mikey Doble's mindset at the moment. He knows that we're going to put a lot of pressure on him, and that obviously seeming to get his blood boiling a little. But here we go, fighting for that position back. We want it back. We want to be in first. We want that clean air. The only way we can do that is by pushing the envelope. We have to be careful, though, not watching what Mikey Doble is doing. We need to concentrate on what we need to do as a driver out there. Keeping it clean, keeping our composure. Onto the start-finish straight. And we're right with the Maserati, trying to stay on the outside. We want this turn as clean as possible. We're staying with that Maserati. Going down the inside. Do we get the pass? Oh, what happened there? What happened there? We're definitely going to have a look at that replay. 21 minutes and 10 seconds into the race. I'm not sure if that was Mikey Doble getting into our rear end purposely and spinning us out. We're forced back into second position. Fortunately, no damage to the car. But Mikey Doble back in the lead under questionable circumstances. We'll have to have a look at that later and see if it was a mistake of ours or if it was Mikey Doble seeing the red mist and getting frustrated with the fight that he's having with the Toyota Celica and taking it out on us. But here we go, down the straights, coming up towards the first chicane. Definitely our target now is to get ahead of and get clear of Mikey Doble, who definitely appears to be in a very aggressive state of mind on the track today. As you can see, the bit of frustration coming in from our side too, flashing the lights at Doble. We definitely feel that he might have been the aggressor in that incident earlier on and may not be playing according to the rules. But nonetheless, the fight is still on. We still have 7.5 minutes or so left of this race. So we need to put this behind us, clear our head and make sure that we get our focus back on the race and what we need to do. As we get through out to the inside, trying to get the pass done on Mikey Doble. The Maserati definitely quicker on the straights, but we're definitely going to fight it. We seem to have a side draft there. We're staying with the Maserati at the moment. It is a close call. His power just a little bit too much for us, as it looks like he's pulling away. But here we go, onto the brakes, trying to keep it nice and clean and safe. Mikey Doble overcooks it, as do we. We've got an all-wheel drive system, so we get the power down in the sand. We keep the lead, and Mikey Doble drops back a significant distance after running off into the kitty litter. We did as well, but we had a better line, or got a better car for trying to get out of there with the four-wheel drive system, and we are in first position at 23 minutes into the race. 6 minutes left, and we are in the lead. We've just got to keep it there now, keep it clean, keep our concentration levels up, and we should be able to keep Mikey Doble in the rear view mirror. We are definitely, well, we are most likely going to need to come in for another pit stop. Those tires are starting to wear down now. As you can see us drifting the car, losing a bit of traction there, getting the power down and trying to claw the car back onto the track. Mikey Doble takes advantage of the mistake, and he's right back on the back of the Celica as we come down onto the next straight. And here we go, Maserati trying to catch up. We move over onto the left-hand lane. Mikey Doble onto the right-hand lane. I apologise. Mikey Doble on the left-hand lane, and oh my word! Oh my word! That is, I am sure that was a move on Mikey Doble's part to force us off the track. He's deliberately turned us around. I think, from what I saw there, Mikey Doble deliberately moved over into the right-hand lane, clipped the rear end of the Castrol Supra. The Castrol Celica, I beg your pardon, and turned us around, and we get the penalty. That is incredible. As you see the Celica sliding around the corner, we've got the red mist is on, and we are in a position of absolute disbelief at the moment. We've got team rules, race as it is, keep on going, do not work that penalty away immediately. But Mikey Doble moves into the pits. We're supposed to be going to the pits as well, but we stay out We've got team rules, stay out. We move the fuel map onto the lightest fuel consumption. We are at number 6, trying to eke out the fuel, trying to make sure that we have got enough to finish this race. The tyres also looking pretty worn up, so we have got a definite difficult task in our hands. We should have gone into the pits there, but because of that spin out, the damages would be too great. We would lose time changing tyres, we'd lose time putting in fuel, and we'd lose time getting repairs done. So the only option we had is take a gamble, keep the car out, try to finish the race. Lap times are 5 minutes. We only have 4 minutes left, so this is the final lap. Will we be able to get the Celica over the line first? We are running at a decreased pace now because of those accidents and because of the amount of fuel that we have. We've got no other option but to try and do a fuel saver again. This is the second time we're having to do this. First time was at Nürburgring, but we're going to have to try and do this again on a fuel saver lap with the other cars behind us on fresh tyres, full tanks of fuel and optimum racing conditions, no damages to their cars. We have got damage to the front and the rear on aerodynamics. We've got a damaged right hand rear. We've got tyres that are more than a quarter way used in front, well, more than quarter or less than quarter left, I should say, and we've got less than a quarter of a tank of fuel left. We're going to have to roll corners. We're going to have to really play this as carefully as possible, and hopefully we can get this one in the bag. It is not going to be easy. Mikey Doble is in second position. He's come out of the pits behind us. I'm not sure how far. We're coming to the second chicane now and onto the third long straight. And at this point I don't know where Mikey Doble is on the track. Do we have enough space? Can we get this car around to the start finish line before that Maserati comes in? And there he is. He is hunting us down. There is no doubt that he is immeasurably quicker than us through the section because of the lack of power that the car has with the fuel map that we have now been having to run, and we run it wide. My word, we've made an immense mistake checking the rear view mirrors probably to see where Mikey Doble is, and missing the braking point, running the car too deep into the turn and having to slow down too much. He is absolutely flying in behind us. You'll see him any second now. There he is, closing the gap on us. We're only running at 210, 211 kilometers per hour. That Maserati is really reeling us in. There's not much time left of this race. We've actually got less than a minute left, so we will be absolutely crossing the line for the last time as we get to the start finish straight. But there you see that Maserati just eating away the gap between us. We get on the power. Will we have enough? We'll have to go defensive here because that is the only way that we're going to be able to keep that Maserati of Mikey Doble behind us. And will he employ more aggressive tactics? This is where he pushed us off the track. I'm sure he pushed us off the track. We'll have to have a look at that replay. We'll have to have a look at both of those replays. But defending well, defending nicely, making sure we are taking up as much track as possible, stopping Mikey Doble from being able to get past, compromising his race line. So if he does want to get past, he's going to have to take a line that is going to cost him time, and hopefully that gives us enough of an advantage to stay ahead. But he is right on us. There's nothing in it between these two drivers. The Toyota Celica GT4 and the Maserati Gran Turismo S in an epic battle up here in front at Le Mans. And here we go into the final turn. Final left, final right, and onto the power. Where is that Maserati? We've across the line, and probably a car length between the two of us. What a race! But definitely Mikey Doble, I do not think he raced the cleanest this time around. I think there must be a huge amount of frustration after all the second places he's taken. In his mind that Maserati should be winning, but the smaller, lighter and less powerful Castrol Celica getting all the wins. So here is the finishing order of the race. We are in first in the Toyota Celica, Mikey Doble second in the Maserati, then we have Turkington in the Z33, then we have Tommy, Aaron Tyler Smith, I beg your pardon, finishing fourth, then Andrew Watson, then Ingram, then we have Nick Halstead, Ashley Sutton, Daryl De Leon, Chris Smiley, Tom Chilton, Rob Huff in the GR Super RZ on 2020, and then behind him is Dan Zelos, Josh Cook, Daniel Robotham, Jake Hill, Sam Osborne in the Mercedes AMG GTR from 2017, and Adam Morgan all the way down towards the back of the field. Then we have Camish in the GTR, and finally the Julia GTA is Aidan Moffat finishing up in last position. So what an amazing race. Well guys, that's about it for us for today, so drive safely, take care, we'll see you on the track.
But first, let's investigate those two incidents from earlier. Incident 1. Footage review. Verdict. Incident 1. A clear dive. By Vic Norman. The penalty stands. Incident 2. Footage review. Verdict, Incident 2, Reckless Endangerment with Malicious Intent, by Mikey Doble. Viewer vote in comments. 3-second penalty for Doble's next race. Vote, yes or no. Thanks for watching. Drive safely, take care. We'll see you on the track.